Hey guys, and welcome back to game number 2 in between these two pro players. So we're continuing here this series, a very long series, so I've decided to cast each game by one. So let me just start once again by introducing the players to you guys, as we have spawning here in the lower right, in the red, it is MARU from South Korea, and in the upper left, in the blue, his opponent Dark, also from South Korea. Very talented and very strong Zerg here versus, believed to be the best Terran currently there is in the world. So very recent replays from June 2022, as they're spawning here on Curious Mind, TLMC 15. So very interesting name here from a map. And Yamaru deciding to open it up pretty standard with his supply depot, with his barracks. There is his gas. Let's check Dark. But if you can look at the mini-map, you can already see that he's going for a fast expansion build. So no spawning pool yet for him, of course. Goes straight into fast expansion as his overlords are now just checking the proximity for any proxy barracks harassment, but no such thing here from MARU, as he's building here his barracks straight to his home base. So pretty soon there might be a harassment here by MARU with this one Reaper. Let's check his next move. Some Terrans like to actually go, very recently in the GSL tournament, they go straight for a fast expansion. This can be of course very deadly against them, as the Zerg could punish it with a fast spawning pool, but many Zergs of course really like to go into that fast expansion build order, and yeah, around the 2-minute and 30-second mark they even like to add their second expansion. So the overlord is out checking the proximity, not seeing anything. See a cleaning bot here, so nice robot here just to keep everything clean on the ground, and the MARU also taking his expansion into this location. Still no SCV, but no, hold on, there is that SCV. So this SCV is of course very important. Terran send it out to see if there is a fast expansion or not, and so they can feel more secure with their own expansion. So yeah, spawning pool has been finished. The first queens will be spawned. And yeah, Dark looking like he's once again going to be playing a little bit defensively, just preparing his macro orientated game, as the first Marine is already out. This second Marine, so he might get lucky here and snipe this one overlord. Dark tries of course to find a nice hiding position for this overlord into this proximity. So nice job here by MARU, early already damaging this one overlord, and Dark has to be careful not to lose this one overlord, as this position would be good to fend it off. Some Zerglings do come in here, and finally the overlord gets saved. So nice job by both of them. A good micro here by MARU, trying of course to inflict as much damage as possible. But yeah, income other two Zerglings. The CV has to run of course for his life, and we see actually a barracks, a factory, and a starport. It should be a starport. So yeah, the 1-1-1 build order by the Terrans. Barracks into factory into starport. No second guess for MARU, as he's transferring some SCVs, and we also see that second expansion here for Dark. So still staying onto that spawning pool gas, queens, and now adding more and more Zerglings. Of course you can check the upper left part what exactly those players are producing. So we have double Hellions here for MARU, and we might see a Medivac, but no, he's actually once again deciding to go for this one Viking just to kill the overlord here. So nice idea by him, as we also see a very beautiful sphere here onto this one map, doing very nicely here. Yeah, the Hellions are out, the Zerglings will be sniped. One SCV almost getting killed here, but MARU taking care of that, and he actually has 4 Hellions here on the ground. Let's see exactly what he can do with those Hellions. He might try to snipe of course many drones as possible, but the door is pretty much shut here by Dark. However, 3 Hellions make it through, and this could be really strong against all of those drones. The drones are taking quite some great damage. 5 have been sniped, only luckily here for Dark, as still the Hellion here is, and he's trying of course to gather as much scouting information as possible. Also tried to snipe a drone or two. In the end, Dark is going to hold of course, but yeah, it was really close to losing so many drones. Luckily for him, he only lost 5. So good job here by him, defending also very lucky, as MARU is sniping one overlord. Is going to retreat, as he's also now building his defenses, his wall of here into this location. Also we have a bunker, so MARU is expecting some attack. Let's see if this is going to happen, as we see a switch here. He might turn this barracks next to this tech lab. Let's see what exactly his plans are. As some engineering base also being added for those upgrades. The Viking is nicely in the air. There is good vision here for MARU. And yeah, we have passed the 5-minute mark. Dark still on 3 bases. Still roaming around. So of course Dark is also expecting a drop by MARU. Very many Terrans will like to do those drops. But we don't see a dropship yet being built. There's this starport with a reactor. We see steam being upgraded very late here for MARU, and as he adds more and more barracks, so it's 3 barracks now. Is he also building a expansion? Another expansion? No, he's actually adding more and more barracks. Massive amounts of barracks. I believe he's going to transition straight into mass bio, so we're about to see many marines on the map. Still Dark only onto that one spawning pool. We actually see a roach warrior now too, so he might see a timing push here by him, as he's also adding those evolution chambers for those upgrades. So yeah, more and more creep is getting spread here by Dark on the map, as slowly but steadily. I believe it could be around the 8 or 10 minute timing push by him with some roaches, with some ravagers. We're about to find out what exactly his plans are. Or some zerglings are also needed, as still no medevac is approaching here the base from Dark. We see actually 1 banshees, and let's see, is there a spore? Of course there has to be a spore here for Dark just to fend this off. And MARU also taking here his other expansion point, feeling really confident, attacking with his Banshee, with his Viking in the air. Let's see, is he going to be able to snipe some workers? He should be able to take out at least 2, but no, there is a spore nicely defending this, so he has to settle for those Zerglings. Impact is about to get finished. We might see another attack here by MARU really soon. And yeah, let's see. But sadly for him, this one Banshee not really making anything happen, only 2 kills, but it's just Zerglings. So yeah, he has to retreat, and now finally he's uploading 2 medivacs with marines, starting his attack. Remember, steam has been finished. He has many barracks at home. And let's see where exactly is he going to attack. The roach is nicely scouting this, so Dark should be ready for air attack really soon. So many roaches for him, they should be able to take care, of course. Those marines, 2 marines have been sniped already. And yeah, let's see where exactly he's going to attack. The spore has relocated. The Zerglings are in position, but so many marines with steam, with backup from those medivacs, and queens need to help out. And yeah, the marines are really strong. 1, even 2 queens have been sniped now. He's going for that mineral line. 5 more kills against the drones, against the artillery, even another queen. So nice move out here by MARU once again, showing us the strengths of those drops from the marines, from the medivacs, and now he's just deciding to pick up and leave the area. So the damage has been done. 3 queens have been sniped, some drones have been sniped here as well. So the first aggression goes here, of course, towards the way from MARU, but Dark is going to respond with the same count. He's actually calculating a timing push here against MARU, but there are some tanks nicely hidden in the back. So let's see how this works out for Dark here. And yeah, we're about to find out what exactly is going to happen, as the medivac has to retreat, of course, at home. And yeah, in comes Dark with his roaches, with his ravagers. So many SCVs have to be pulled out. And yeah, 6 SCVs have already been killed, actually 12, even 30 now. So nice job here by Dark, as I'm losing my voice here. Sadly. So nice job here by Dark, taking out so much of those SCVs. The 16 SCVs have been killed. The roaches, the ravagers are still pretty much intact. So nice job here by Dark. Really great stuff here by him. Almost snapping here this one Banshee. We are slowly but steadily, we're closing at the 10-minute mark. Some overseers are also joining here the attack. And yeah, the creep is also really nicely spotted, as once again Dark is pretty much going to commit with his ravagers, with his roaches. Getting once again for this base location, almost sniping it with those fireballs in the air. And yeah, the SCVs have to, of course, run for their lives. They're repairing each other. But it's such a strong position here for Dark. He might try to snipe once again another tank or 2 with those fireballs from the ravagers. And yeah, let's see where exactly the next target is going to be. What is he going to do? Currently he's just having control of the middle of the map. He's having control of his location, as more and more tanks are, of course, have to be produced here by MARU. as we're closing at the 10-minute mark, so MARU pretty much under siege from all directions. He's not mining from this one location. He has to defend those tanks. Those tanks are of course very much important for him. And yeah, the SCVs are pretty much exposed here in the front. Of course, MARU might try to lure Dark into a trap. There we have some Marines in the front. MARU really strong here, defending really nicely. But there are some Zerglings, and it looks like yes indeed Dark is going to commit with so many forces snapping those tanks, but there's still 3 tanks in the back not being touched, so Dark pretty much has to retreat now as so many Marines are still alive. Dark now luring those Marines into danger. He's trying to snap them with fireballs. But yeah, both players pretty much hurting each other. And yeah, still anyone's game, of course. Those tanks in the back once again for MARU looking really strong. Perhaps a Nida Swarm is going to be a nice idea here for Dark. Even some other units could be of course of use. Vipers are much needed. Infestors are also really strong. Yeah, let's see. The Dark is repositioning here into another location. Let's see if he's going to pretty much commit here. He's trying to snap those stones. Yeah, let's see what the next steps are going to be. Even some swarm hosts could be a nice idea here for Dark against MARU, as they're going to meet once again here in the middle of the map. The siege tanks are now finally sieging up. Dark might try to snap them with some fireballs, but already taking so much splash damage out of this. Yeah, nice job here by MARU once again. Having those tanks, they're pretty much saving grace here for him, just like in the previous games. See into what he's going to transition. He might try once again some harassment with some Maybacks. But yeah, Dark is also upgrading, actually bending all over the map while he is attacking. So nice job here for him. Yeah, more and more is being added. A nice spread here as well by Dark, but it's really hard to engage against so many tanks. He might even try to upgrade his overlords and try to strike here into this location, try to unload his army. And a Nida Swarm would also be a nice addition here for him. Given the fact that those tanks are not that fast on the ground, you really need some time to unsiege and then move up and down. Yeah, some swarm hosts could also be a good idea for him, launching some swarm hosts from this location. Let's see, currently MARU is moving out with his forces, quite nicely spreading them. But yeah, let's see what exactly. Still just Ravagers. Still roaches. Is he going for some other units? Yes indeed, we have some Hydras, so he might try to transition into some lurkers really soon. And then in comes the attack, but the high ground is here for Dark. Going to snipe some of those tanks. And yeah, let's see the next moves. A nice spread like I told you. So many Marines, so much infantry here for MARU. Both players are pretty much maxed out now, so about to find out what exactly the next move are going to be. Yeah, more and more attacks will happen here. And yeah, let's see, Dark still pretty much in command here. MARU slowly but steadily moving out. Dark tries to find, of course, better position here for his units. As he's attacking left and right, but nice micro out of those fireballs by the Ravagers. And yeah, let's have a look what exactly is going to happen here. Nice stim here by MARU, snapping unit after unit, and slowly but steadily MARU is going to commit here, moving forward with his tanks. And they are going for that other tension point. Let's see, some Vipers are in the air, but much damage being dealt. And we do have some lurkers in the back here for nice job here by him. And Oil Shell has some liberators. And we do see some nice points now in great liberation zones. One tank after the other is finally getting sniped, as the Hawk should be able to hold here. And MARU decides to retreat a little bit. Nice job by him in the end. Yeah, let's see. The next attack is about to happen here, so MARU nicely moving forward, binding down setting casted, but the Marines will nicely be forced out of those binding grounds. Good job. Tanks are still untouched in the back. 16 drones have been killed here by MARU, so Dark pretty much under siege now, and the spread is really nicely here being done by MARU with his tanks. Even the hatchery has been sniped, so good job here by MARU moving forward with his forces and adding more and more forces, more and more Marines, as he's also pushing out with his tanks. So Dark has to much think about another idea. Maybe he's going to intercept some units from this location. Might try to do this with a smaller group of roaches, ravagers, leave some lurkers behind to defend, and in he comes with the lurkers, with the roaches in the front. He might try to snap those units here. Let's see if he's going to be successful. And the MARU now pretty much on the defense. Dark also wants to damage the economy from MARU after taking so much damage out of MARU with those siege tanks. 3 SCVs have been snapped out of this one lone lurker here, so good job here by Dark, multitasking all over the map. And yeah, more and more units will pour forward. Of course, Dark, like I told you, tries of course now to damage the economy from MARU, but is not really being allowed thanks to those tanks on the ground. What can he do? He might try to add more and more Vipers, he might try to add some Infestors, and some mind control could be used. As yeah, we have a small stalemate now. Both players have pretty much calmed down. Let's see the next moves. MARU still on the defense, but we finally see some snipers, and the snipers seem to be MARU's answer towards those lurkers from Dark. Same time MARU moves out, but he needs to be careful. So many lurkers here is teaming up, but that infantry pretty much has been sniped. Yes, nice defense here by Dark. At the same time, another attack here by MARU, nicely multitasking all over the map, but Dark seems to be ready with his units all over the map. At the same time, he's moving out with those lurkers. Lurkers very much tanky. Now that man getting scanned, we see some nice EMPs against those Vipers, and yet the snipers once again showing us their strength. So MARU of course transitioning now into more and more snipers here, taking out unit after unit, so good job here by him. As I believe he's going to go very much strong into those snipers. Let's see how many snipers he currently has. Just a couple of them, just 5 of them. But yeah, he might go really strong into those snipers, as Dark still staying into Zerglings, into lurkers, into roaches and ravagers. See where exactly this is going to be taking him. As more and more scans go out just to cancel those queen eggs. And yeah, once again we have a stalemate. We're slowly but steadily closing at the 20-minute mark. It's still anyone's game, but Dark somehow not being able to penetrate here forward against MARU. MARU of course with those tanks, and now even having snipers on the ground, making life really hard for Dark. So of course he has to expand all over the map. He has to win a economic, to have an economic advantage here, at least against MARU. Scouting the proximity, tries of course to kill everything he can, but also hard against the Terran to fully commit. Perhaps Ultralisk would be a nice idea for him, just to bust here somehow through Zerglings with Ultralisk, with Banelings. I believe he's staying to his Zerglings, to his lurkers, to his ravagers, and hold on, we actually see MARU once again attacking, but there are Zerglings in the front, and those lurkers are perfect defense if they're not getting scanned. So nice job here by Dark once again defending. So both players are pretty much respecting each other, not allowing any move out forward, as Dark still tries to find a good position for his army to attack, still defending really nicely with those lurkers in the back. And let's see, more and more snipers have joined the army, and they're fully energy, so they will be really hard, very powerful here towards the army from the Terran. As finally once again in comes Dark with his units attacking here. So many SCVs will be sniping once again, go on against those lurkers, against everything. Yeah, MARU using of course once again those snipers. Perhaps the snipers will be nerfed in the next patches, as very many players said that they're really imbalanced, and look at that, he's just sniping those units, it's going invisible, of course out microing them out of danger. And the sniping still continues here, so it's so hard here for Dark make it forward, as this location, this expansion is once again being secured here by MARU. So what exactly could the plan here from Dark be? Of course he could somehow try an idle swarm, like I told you, into those production tabs, into those production buildings, try some swarm hosts, maybe bust for with some Ultralisk. If he's staying into lurkers and hydras, it would be of course really hard. He could also massively transition into Zerglings with Banelings against those ghosts and just keep producing them non-stop. There's still so many tanks on the ground here for the Terran, so of course those tanks giving so much defensive power towards any Terran on the map. Yeah, more and more units will join here. The army, luckily here for Dark, is taking his expansion. And yeah, every mineral now in the late game counts, of course. Dark decides to play it more defensively. Now it's time for MARU to be actually more aggressive, to move forward. It's going to be hard for him. He actually has no Raven, so he still stays loyal to those scans. And yeah, it's once again a small stalemate. Both players are very, very close to each other, but still MARU just deciding to scan the area, just deciding to slowly but steadily push forward, scanning and now moving out with those snipers to try to take out unit after unit. At the same time also securing, of course, this expansion with that planetary fortress, and also cleaning the ground with the cleaning bot here. Yeah, adding more and more of those expansions. Nice job here by him. At the same time he also adds more and more command centers, of course, just in case the Zerg goes for those banelings. We should have a replacement really fast, as he even has a nice planetary fortress here next to his command center. As he's teaming up, he's actually pretty much going to commit to this location, of course. Now leaves this expansion pretty much exposed. Perhaps he's just trying to lure those units into that location. The hatchery will be snapped, but the real action will happen here in the middle of the map. The snipers are in position. They're pretty much once again going to scare Dark away, sniping some lurkers, sniping some overseers. Such a hard game here for Dark against all of those snipers. And there's even some Vikings now in the air. MARU seems to be having that air supremacy against Dark. Nice upgrades here for both players. Can still go out, so Dark having massive amounts now of Hydras, even adding some banelings. Some banelings, of course, to counter those ghosts, those snipers. And yeah, let's see. Slowly but steadily, Dark picking up the pace, killing some of those units one by one. And now MARU actually deciding to take this expansion, this strategic important expansion here for him. Slowly but steadily he's moving out more and more with those liberators this time. Actually massive 4 liberators, no tanks from him. This is moving out with a small task force just to snap those lurkers, but hold on, the real damage is going to happen. Here's 3 command centers pretty much exposed. Snipers will take out 1 lurker. The Dark once again has to retreat. So many Vikings are in the air. Yeah, he has lost sadly for him his expansion. He tried to counter, but it's really hard against those snipers to fight, so really hard game here for him. Worker wise, MARU however having less workers than Dark, having however more and more of a army against Dark. So yeah, let's see what exactly the next steps are going to be, as more and more lurkers, I believe, are being spawned here by Dark. So he's thinking, of course, that lurkers could be the perfect counter towards that infantry. He's of course right, but what can he do against all of those snipers? And there's still some tanks in the back, but actually no, MARU now transitioning into some Taurs. The Taurs is the answer from MARU in the late game, as a Terran, as his command center is getting repaired. So let's see, Dark wants to, of course, to cancel the upper right part from MARU as he's moving out with his units. And yeah, let's have a look what exactly the next steps are going to be here. The snipers are still inbound and might take out some of those units. Are pretty much going to commit here with his units, with his overseers in the front. The lurkers are also here present. So many Zergins will attack here forward, and he's going for those upgrades. He's actually going for some supply depots. At the same time, the lurkers are attacking here this planetary fortress. Still the SCVs are nicely healing it. However, 19 SCVs have been sniped, as Dark seems to be all over the place. Finally, in come the reinforcements for MARU, as he should be able to take out those units, and that upgrade has been actually denied here for Dark, actually for MARU. So nice job here for Dark. As yeah, slowly but steadily we're closing at the 25-minute mark here. So still anyone's game. The lurkers are really strong. Finally Dark with a small victory, sniping that expansion. As yeah, he tries to reposition, he tries to add more units, more Zerglings as cannon fodder. And let's see what exactly MARU has. He has those Taurs, he has some tanks. So a nice mix of units. Those snipers really important, and a small infantry of marauders and marines. At the same time, Dark moves out with actually so many overseers here. I guess he really wants to see those snipers and try to kill them. I see MARU once again pretty much is going to target this expansion point. So nice job here by him as the Zerglings do move forward. And yeah, the lurkers are also here in position. The liberators, however, with the tanks nicely positioned, so Dark has to find a better position for himself, or he might try also a counter here, as the Terran army isn't really that mobile with those tanks, with those Tors. He might need more and more medivacs, and look at that, the snipers once again showing us their strengths. 3 lurkers have been snapped, nice EMP, and still energy here for those snipers to take out lurker after lurker, so remember they're just trading energy here against those kills. Dark tries of course to come forward, but it's getting neatly snapped, and more units are being killed here by those forces. So sadly here for Dark, he's dropped really low into supplies thanks to those snipers. At the same time MARU also dropping very low into the worker count. So Dark tries to now pull forward with his lurkers, with his Zerglings in the front. Planetary is pretty much under siege. There's still some siege tanks here into his location, so Dark, let's see if he's going to commit. It's really sad for him, but the Liberators will end this attack off. So Dark once again on the retreat, leaving some units here. No, actually he has nothing. He just pretty much has to retreat against all of those units. Nice job here by MARU, defending really nicely. And those Liberators very much valuable. So many Liberators here all of a sudden for MARU. He has 6 Liberators here and tanks on the ground, and even the Tors, 2 Tors, just 2 casual Tors, as MARU is slowly but steadily pushing here forward against Dark. And the question is going to be Dark able to hold with so many lurkers? Of course lurkers really strong, but just a massive amounts of lurkers, and remember MARU has those snipers, and still energy is pretty much going rapid up here for the snipers, as another hatchery has been sniped here. So yeah, let's see, MARU decides to scan the area. Dark once again committing with so many lurkers being spreaded, and yes, some liberation zones are here, but it's just a highway of lurkers for Dark as he's pushing forward. And we do see some nice disease clouds now against those Vipers, so great disease clouds here being casted, and we actually see a nuclear launch being headed here for MARU, as Dark has to of course outrun that, and he's also knocking here at the main entrance from MARU. Finally a strong push out here by Dark, much more mobile, but still those snipers with that energy are pretty much alive. And yeah, the lurkers are nicely positioned, so any attack here by MARU will of course be a suicide, as he's trying to scan the area. Dark, however, moving more and more forward with his units, with his massive amounts of lurkers. And the other snipers are here, not that much energy being left, but still enough for some sniping against those lurkers on the ground. Scan after scan, and sadly lurker after lurker is getting killed here by MARU versus Dark. So sadly here for Dark, this push hasn't really brought him anything. The snipers are pretty much still alive. The hatchery has been sniped. At the same time some corruptors do move here forward to try to snap an expansion or two, but yeah, the ghosts are still here on the ground waiting to take of course the kills. They're sniping. Nice job here by MARU actually holding. And yeah, sadly here for Dark, he's dropped really low into supplies. Sadly for him, his army has dropped also in supplies thanks to those snipers. Finally he gets a good surround against those snipers, but now just sadly has to GG out. It was just way too much. And yeah, MARU once again showing us the strength of those snipers versus the Zerg. So such a strong unit to have. Perhaps it's going to get nerfed by Blizzard. Also very good unit against the Protoss with that EMP. Let's see what the plans from Blizzard are. And yeah, MARU just showing us how good they really are, if they're getting microed nicely back and forth, and of course if that sniping ability is being used. So a nice back and forth game. Sadly in the end Dark didn't really make it through towards the base from MARU. MARU nicely defending of course with those tanks early on, and later on the snipers were just perfect here for him against Dark. So Dark with mass lurkers sadly didn't make it happen. Perhaps some drops, perhaps a Nidus Swarm, perhaps some Locusts would have been a good idea, even Ultralisk, Banelings, but yeah, sadly didn't work out for him. Still a nice game by both of them. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this replay. We'll be seeing you of course in the next replays. This is Tommy signing out.